It's usually not a good thing if you end up in the back of a police car, but for one couple with a baby on the way, it may have saved a life. Working on a holiday is one thing, but for Sergeant Brian Waller, that was just the beginning.
518 dispatch will be 97.
On a cold Thanksgiving morning, the state police sergeant was on his way to the scene of a crash, and traffic was backed up with multiple accidents along the way.
It was her and a few other potential patients that we had to tend to.
Dispatch got a call about a pregnant woman in labor.
Training instinct kicks in. You just put it in, get the location, and get the resources.
It's kind of controlled chaos.
State police responded. Here's dashcam video of Sergeant Waller rolling up to the crash.
Her water broke, she's bleeding, she has pain on her right side.
The closest ambulance, 50 miles away. Closest hospital, try 70 miles.
We're out in the middle of nowhere, okay? Just keep breathing, relax, keep breathing.
The clock was ticking, but state police had a plan.
There was substantial amount of traffic, especially for Thanksgiving, and then obviously with the snowfall.
Virginia was 8 months pregnant. She sat in the back seat with her partner, weaving in and out of traffic in the sergeant's car until they were able to meet an ambulance near Klein's Corners. He crosses the median, driving through 7 inches of snow to get to the other side. Virginia crying in pain in the back seat.
Virginia and I were in a car accident, and her water broke. She's bleeding, and we're on our way to the nearest town so we can meet an ambulance. I need you to call her mother and let her know. We're probably going to end up in Albuquerque. I'm not sure what's going on with the baby just yet, but we're probably expecting the baby to come.
Remember all that traffic? Back to that quick thinking, too.
I'm literally driving from one side to the other on slush and ice.
State police close off the freeway so Sergeant Waller can drive in the opposite direction, passing traffic to get the baby to safety.
I am a relatively new father. I do have a 18-month-old, my first child, so I could kind of relate to not exactly what she was going through, but I can kind of understand that relationship with the child.
Hard. I know it's hard, but you can be a very strong woman. You are a strong woman.
About 30 minutes later, they make it to Klein's Corners.
You okay? The ambulance is they're gonna meet us right here.
Hello, how are you doing?
Mission accomplished. The night state police went from sergeant to stork. We've got an update. Virginia gave birth to a baby girl. Both she and her daughter are doing okay. That man that I talked to said he's been here since 1996, coming to Towski Valley, and he's never seen anything like this. In fact, he says earlier this morning he heard people yelling avalanche. He tried to look to see what was going on and knew he had to step in to volunteer to try and help rescue those two men. I want you to take a look at some of the photos he just sent in. My photographer is going to pan it so you can get a better look, and you can see just how many people were out there helping today. He said he felt like there were more than 100 people all lined up trying to help with those metal poles. There were dogs out there, ski patrol crews. But now let's take a look at some of the video we got when we first got on scene. What that doesn't really capture is the emotion of those skiers and snowboarders. A lot of them talking about how in that moment they kind of realized what could happen while they're out there today. And when I talked to the man who helped rescue those two men, he talked about how concerned he was knowing that the two men that were rescued could be someone that he had known. Take a listen.
I truly didn't know if some of them were my friends, and it was kind of weird, but it was pretty emotional, that's for sure.
Now, he also talked about how you couldn't stop crying after those people were rescued. He said those volunteers were digging, grabbing shovels, doing anything they could. And once they reached an area where they were able to find some clothes beneath that snow, first responders took over with CPR and everything they could do to try and rescue those men. Again, the two of them in critical condition right now. We are still working on gathering more information, and we'll be live back here at 6:30 and 10. For now, live in Towski Valley, Joy Wang, KOB, Eyewitness News 4.